Good evening and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I have been sharing my scrapbooks for Disney World in Florida. And my family went this past June and I have already shared Animal Kingdom and Disney Springs, and which was in one book. And then I shared Hollywood Studios, and we stayed at the All-Star Movie Resort, so those were in one book. And this is Epcot. I believe this is only Epcot. Yeah, just Epcot. So I'm going to flip through, go through the pages, point out any kind of technique or a lot of the products that I used. I have created layout shares for every Disney page I've done. So if you're looking for more details, you're more than welcome to go looking through those. Or you can comment below and I will gladly answer any questions that I can about the products that I use. So, Epcot. So, a lot of the products you're going to see are Echo Park. A lot of these are from Paper House Production, and I've got my penny. I use the map. This was a paper that I needed a circle for some other layout, and I always do it in the middle or somewhere off instead of right in the corner, so that I can use it for pages like this, and I love doing that. And then this is a Tim Holtz ideology quote chip, and I love using these, and I think I used quite a few of them in this book. I always do a map page, and this map page has the trash cans from around the park, and this is a bingo chip from a game that my family used to play, and I was looking for a lovely excuse to use this Eiffel Tower, because I don't know when I'll go to Paris, and I got it in like a mixed grab bag, like mystery bag thing that I got years ago. So this was the perfect time because we stopped in France. So, and then I just have some little pictures from the park, traveling between the worlds, because on this day we were in Hollywood Studios and then we moved over to Epcot. And I just embellished with some washi and then some more of that Paper House Production stickers. This is actually ocean paper. It's from a Die Cuts with a View, Ocean Wonders, I think is who created that book. And I say that, and it might not be. Yeah, Die Cuts with a View. And I love this paper. So I had taken this picture of the map because we came in on the Skyliner, and I didn't know if I was actually going to get a paper copy. So I went ahead and took this picture, and I thought, well, might as well scrap it. So this is where we were when I took the picture, which is why there's arrows there pointing to where we were. This is just an extra picture of the upside down or the reversed fountain. These are more things from the Paper House Production and another piece off of the map. This is actually the first pages that I scrapbooked in this album because this is the first thing we saw when we got there. Yes, I know this is a squirrel. I'm super random sometimes. So, I believe that I was charged with like making pages with circles or something like that. Scrapbooking with Emery.com, she usually will give us some kind of a challenge or a prompt. And so I think that this had something to do with circles. So I created both of these. I had these really neat stickers from London, also somewhere I probably won't be in a while. And then some more of the Paper House Production stickers. I was super excited to take these pictures because then I knew that I had this and I was going to make sure that I used that. And this is what my daughter is looking at in this picture, is the squirrel, and it was just like right next to us. So, and some more of the Tim Holtz cut these out on my Cricut and cut the circles out on my Cricut too, because I cannot cut a circle to save my life. Oh, and this paper and maybe some more of paper, but this is Park Lane. This entire set of pages from Mexico are from the Buenos Dias collection by Obed Marshall. And other than a few little things like solids and things like that, all 4 of these page layouts are completely Obed Marshall's Buenos Dias collection. Some of it is from the chipboard. Some of it is from the cut aparts on some of the papers. But pretty much everything, and then all of the papers. These little flowers are not. And I think this came from a Mexico embellishment kit. So use some washi, again, all Obed Marshall. And I don't normally do like all of one designer or all of one like kit or set. I don't typically scrapbook that way. I buy a lot of individual papers and individual sheets of stickers and things like that. But in this case, I loved these papers and I bought them, and then I bought the 8x6 paper pad and the 12x12 chipboard, and that was helpful. This is from an embellishment thing, probably from Jollee's. This is all from the chipboard. This is a cut apart from one of the pages. I just put it up on foam to give it a little dimension, and of course covered my tag hole. This is some Fiesta paper that I had. I needed something to give some dimension, and then I did some inking with an ink pad up there. And then these are actually all the border strips from the pages that I had already used. I love doing that. This paper right here is also from this Fiesta paper I got from my Recollections. And then we went to Norway, and I didn't have anything Norway paper. So I looked up the color of their flags, red, white, and blue. So I went ahead and made, this was a tutorial or a prompt from Scrapbooking with Anne-Marie. Did some paper tearing. This is the early stages of my banner creating. I'm still not very good at it. So, another penny, and I did my journaling around. I like doing that, even though you have to like kind of turn it if you can't read upside down. It's just fun, and it's a really neat way to journal and not take up space, especially if it's a busy page. This is ribbon. It has sticky on the back, but my sister bought it for me so long ago. The sticky's not very sticky, so I just put double-sided tape behind it. I just did some layering and, like I said, some paper tearing, and then I took a black ink pad and inked it up. And then this is the Flower Garden Festival, and so they had all these different things. Oh my gosh. They had all these different creations all throughout the park, and these were Elsa, so I used this whole Frozen theme, and I used some Frozen stickers. I used all white flowers, and then I put some snowflakes in the bush, which these I cut out on my Cricut. This is die cuts with view paper, and I used it on all 4 of them. There's like, oh, I think there's more of them somewhere else. There is a bunch of, I got a pack of them at Tuesday morning. These are of the Winnie the Pooh characters, and later the 4 of us will wear shirts that are different Winnie the Pooh characters. So I took a picture with each person and their Winnie the Pooh character. So my daughter has yellow, and she's Winnie the Pooh, and my husband had Tigger, and he's got the orange, and my son had Piglet, so he has the pink, and then mine is Eeyore, so I did like purple. And then I just tucked all these flowers in and put tons and tons of flowers down here. It was a good way to use up a lot of my floral stash because I have a lot of it. So use the same bushes over here that I cut on my Cricut. I just didn't put any flowers on it. And then here's some different characters that were cut out, and I used stickers that went along with them, and some more of the Tim Holtz fussy cut. Did some fussy cutting. These are Recollections stickers, and I love those. And this is just some border that I got off of a Tigger thing. I just did some matting, started using my new Distress Oxides. This would be faded jeans and salty ocean, I think is what it's called. I used it enough you'd think that I would know by heart. And then I just added a few little raindrop stickers to go with them. And then added a little banner at the bottom. More paper tearing. This is from Color Kaleidoscope by Paper Studios, and there's a lot of this. Like this red is from that, and all of this. So this is China. We went into a thing, and this ceiling was so cool. I took this ridiculous selfie of myself. And then these are just little things from the store that I thought were cool. These were the topiaries that were outside of in China. Just some of the views. I used this paper from Park Lane, and it's like a maps, text, and ledgers or something, and it's one of my favorite paper pads to use for any kind of travel. And this is a scroll that I've had forever. And I, like with the other stuff, like the Great Wall of China, when was I going to use it again? So we went, well, anyway, this was the perfect time. I found a great way to utilize a lot of stash that I would not use any other way. This was from a music festival or a concert that we went to. The first part of it was in Spanish, so I put Fiesta up here. The other part was Voices of Liberty, so I did it all in red, white, and blue. I think there's some inking on here with the faded with the faded jeans and the salty ocean. This is Japan, and this is flipped up. There we go. I just had cut. This is either a red circle on white or red behind. Nope, it's a red circle. I do both ways, but I really love this kind of a layout. It's just, I feel like it's very eye-catching. And to decorate the outside and then have the focal point here, it's kind of like, look at me, you know, and here's what I want you to look at. And this just gives you that extra, you know, eye candy. So I use stickles on here and a lot of the Paper House Productions sticker sheet, and some of my Disney stickers, which I've had a hard time using because I'm getting down to the letters that you don't use. And this kimono. So, you know, like I said, things that I would have never had the opportunity to use. We don't travel much. This is our funnel cake experience. I use some borders and these Mrs. Grossman's borders that I use to actually put borders around all of my pictures. This is the trash cans in the Americas, and I use red, white, and blue stickles over here, or red, well, it's red, blue, and silver. This is my first shaker pocket in this book. It is not my favorite. It is probably not, well, you can, from where I am sitting, I can see the foam because I cut the duck too thin. And so the foam, double-sided foam I have was not thin enough to where you couldn't see it, and it became a real pain in the patootie. So I did as best I could and put some yellow and white Mickey head in there and some sequins. And if you're just looking at it straight on, I don't think it's as bad, but I can see it and it drives me nuts. Maybe one day I'll redo it. So until then, I did a bunch of strips. This was all for my scrap bin and some washi. Added some ducks that I matted in the same brown color. Put a little tag in here and a banner. Added these extra stickers, and voila. I do love making these, and I've gotten a lot better at them, but doing them in weird shapes or rounded shapes is not easy. And I don't know how many of these I've done in these books, but when we get to Star Wars, there's at least 4. So this is the beginning of Figment's The Journey into Imagination. There's like a little sticky ball in there. This is some paper that I got at Tuesday morning, and it is Simple Stories. and I love it. And I love having all the rainbows. The other side of this is a cut apart, and you get 25 sheets when you get them there. So I knew that I could find a way to use rainbows, especially here. I used ink pads and in a rainbow shape or rainbow shades. How about that? This is stamp abilities from Hobby Lobby, and I think this is only $10. So I got it when they were 50% off. So because they weren't terribly expensive, I used these and like take them across the page. And so that's what I did here because I wanted that rainbow effect. So I just took a 6.5 by 11, a 6.5 by 4.5, and just took the ink directly onto the paper from the ink pad. I do now have daubers and stuff from Tim Holtz that I'll probably use more often so that it doesn't destroy the ink pad. But like I said, because they were less expensive, I didn't worry too much. Use some more washi. This black and white rainbow is from the Black and White collection by Parklight. And I think this paper, actually, this is all washied, and it's all rainbow washies that I alternated up and down the 4.5 by 6.5. And then this page, I had all these pictures from the ride. I didn't want it to take up a ton of pages, but I didn't want it to be crowded. And it's still crowded, but it's kind of like a fun rainbow effect. So I did 2 of each color, I think, all the way around. And then I embellished each of the squares with different stickers and embellishments that were in that color. And use some Echo Park. Very busy, but it's okay because I love it. And this one I did with ink pads again, and I was trying to go for a similar pattern to what is on this wall at the ImagineWorks Labs. And then this is just some American Crafts rainbow paper. Use some American Crafts thicker stickers and some Tim Holtz. And then this is my family doing different things at the ImagineWorks lab. Playing some games, doing like a Simon Says thing, and building their own, I think build your own dragon or something. And then this little dancing keyboard thing. So, and I did this also in the rainbow pattern. And I did with, some of it was patterned paper, some of it's solids. Some of it is up on foam and gives some dimension. This is really quite monochrome, and not intentionally, I don't think. This is us on the transportation, the boat or the ferry that takes you across from one side of Epcot to the other. And I finally got a chance to use some Bon Voyage because we don't get on boats very often. So I just used tons and tons of blue scraps on this page. I took every scrap I had that had any blue or green in it that reflected like the sky and the water, and I just laid them all down on the page. And I love the way this page turned out. It is so neat, and I love using my scraps. This next set of pages is all from the Nemo ride, and I used all of the pages that are in here are from that Ocean Wonders by Die Cuts with View. The embellishments are not, but all the papers are. And they are so pretty and shiny. So I just used some washi and a bunch of layered up my pictures. On this page, I did the same thing. Lots of layers, lots of strips. Of course, I put my information from the map so that I don't have to title each ride by the name of the ride that's on here, so I can name it something else. Journaled some. This one I did on a circle. It was, I think it might have been a prompt or a sketch that I was looking at. And then just added some little things to tuck around it and put my title in the middle. These are just little things from the ride that I didn't want to take up a whole lot of space. I did a lot of that with these kind of longer rides where you're seeing lots and lots of things. And then this is this was a tutorial from scrapbookingwithamory.com. I'm trying to think if maybe this one was too. I was doing a lot of tutorials. Well, I do a lot of tutorials with her all the time. And so, but this was definitely one, and I love these bright colors and the way that this page turned out. This was a random page. I had a bunch of strips, and I was trying to think of how I could use them. And this is what I did with them. I put them in like an asterisk, and then tacked them down all around. And then where they met and kind of bulged, I put this up on foam. It says, "Never forget this moment." And I loved these pictures because they were, like, my daughter took some of these and they're really good. And it was just of the aquarium where we were in where the Nemo ride is. And then I just ended each of the little lines with some kind of a turtle, bubbles, starfish, things like that. And then this is one of my favorite scrapbooking friends, not food, because Bruce has his own scrapbook on the wall, so I had to have a picture of that. I mean, come on. This shark paper, I don't think this is from, oh, maybe it is because it's thick. So yeah, I guess that's from that same photo book. I was thinking that I do have other shark paper, but I think I've used that at the beach. Not that I've seen sharks at the beach. So I just layered some more papers up, used a little bit of the Echo Park, and other than that, everything on here is from that Ocean Wonders from Die Cuts with a View. All of this is also layered up from that. Big Bruce Ate My Kids, I had there behind there, and I just thought that was funny. I like to be really punny and funny when I do a lot of times. These are little like chipboard letters that I've had since like 2004. Yeah, so I need to use them, and sometimes it's just hard. So they're really cool because on this side it's blue with red writing, on the other side it's red with blue writing, and I have a couple of different color forms, but I never think to use them because they're kind of odd to use, but this worked out for me. And then here is Spaceship Earth. I started using a stencil that I created myself on my Cricut. One of my favorite YouTubers uses a lot of stencils, and I don't have very many, and so I just kind of made one and cut it out on some paper that I don't typically use very much. It's hot pink, and I have a ton of it. So I cut out all these stars off my Cricut, and I just put them in different places, and then I sprayed through it with my Distress Oxides in the Faded Gem, the Salty Ocean, and in the Wilted Violet. And then I just added some of these. These are just from the dollar store. Added my little map thing. I like to take a picture of the sign and a picture, our group picture. And we're nutty peoples. On this one, I used acrylic paint and made my own moon on my Cricut. I used another one of the Tim Holtz Ideology chipboards and double matted this one on blue. And then this is, I wasn't sure where to put these because these pictures are all, nope, these 4 pictures are all from Epcot. So in Mexico and in Japan and in Norway. But these 2 are actually at Magic Kingdom, and my daughter was trying on the pirate hats. So I didn't want to make this its own page. So I put them all together and made it one big thing. This is some paper I got off of Amazon. These were both, well, they're the same layout that I got from a tutorial from scrapbookingwithamory.com, and just titled it Vikings Go. And then this one is titled Hat Fun. Finally was able to use this big old sombrero. I think it's Jollee's that I've had forever. This is from some Disney paper that I fussy cut. Same paper as all of this. And I have got to figure out, I'm going to have to go on my Amazon account and see what the name of that stuff is because I can't remember. And I took it out of the packaging like as soon as I got it. It's like a not silky, but it's smooth. It's a smooth, satiny kind of paper. So it didn't really mesh with all of my other Disney papers. So I didn't use it as much as I thought I would, but I love it. It's very pretty. Okay, and then finally we have Mission Space, which is the last ride that we went to before we left. And we, meaning my husband and my children, I did not ride. So this is a picture I took of the ride. This is the selfie they took inside. And this is Buzz Lightyear's topiary that is outside of the mission space, because you can see it back here. And then I think this was another tutorial. Typically if it's, well, I'm so random with my scrapbooking, there's never any telling, but sometimes I can look at a page and go, yep, that's definitely a tutorial. I would have never thought to do that. That's why I love tutorials and sketches, because it lets you think outside of your normal comfort zone. I cut these stars out on my Cricut, put this down on the yellow paper so it is shining through. These are not yellow stars on the black paper. It is the yellow from the background that is coming through. And I did not use any mixed media in here. The further into my scrapbooks, the more mixed media I use, because I became more comfortable with it. Because I just really started using mixed media in the last 6 to 8 months, other than ink pads. So that is Epcot. And I am 3 books in that I have shared on YouTube. I have one more that is travel, transportation. It's our trip there and our trip back, the different buses that they have at Disney. If you've not been, they have tons of different buses that have different characters on them. And then as well as the Skyliner and any other kind of travel and transportation kind of things are all in one book. And then I have 2 books of Magic Kingdom and 2 books, well, one is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and one is from the ride, The Rise of the Resistance. And yes, I have an entire book for one ride. My husband makes me laughs about it, but it's a fabulous ride, and I took a ton of pictures, and it ended up being like, I don't know, 30 layouts or something. So it had to go in its own book. So tomorrow I will probably begin Magic Kingdom and share those. I probably will only do one book at a time, because it takes about 30 minutes to go through the book. If I didn't talk so much, probably be less. Sorry. So I will probably just do one book at a time and just title the video Magic Kingdom 1 and Magic Kingdom 2. So I hope that you all got some inspiration or ideas out of some of these layouts. If you have any questions about the products, the layouts, the techniques, if you have something you want to say, please don't hesitate to put comments in below, and I will definitely get back to you. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you have not subscribed already, please do. And if you have already, thank you. So I hope you all have a great night and a wonderful rest of the week. And I hope you get a chance to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping.